Hey everyone, I've recently been thinking a lot about this year and the goals and where I am and where I stand, life-wise, work-wise, reading-wise, and how to start 2019 and what to change or what not to change, so all of these things. So I thought it's a good time to recap 2018. Let's start with reading goals, because I didn't really make any. If you remember, I set out this year with the main goal of reading my own books and reducing my TBR. When I started this year, that was a total of 49 books, ebooks, audiobooks, and physical books. I managed to listen to all but one audiobook, but that's okay because that one audiobook is Ulysses and I haven't picked up the book and I want to parallel read it with the physical book like I did with Infinite Jest. So that is not an audiobook that needs to be ticked off anytime soon. So I'm good with that. I also read almost all of my ebooks. I have 3 ebooks left that are part of a series where I'm currently not really sure if I actually want to finish it. So I don't really know. I've had those books for ages and yeah, don't really care. Weird, I know. Physical books, I still have these 11 left. I'm quite happy with the books I read. I managed to tick off a lot of them. Some I enjoyed, some I didn't. And those that are left are huge, which is the problem. Huge books I tend to put off when I'm busy. And since I started working again, reading time has gone down. So looking at the total number of books I set out to read was the 49 from my TBR and the general Goodreads goal of 70 books. I surpassed that. I also wanted to continue series that I started. I didn't do as well with that. I caught up on some, but I didn't really get as many new books for finishing series as I should have been. So I'm thinking for 2019, I'm going to really look at those series that I started. And I said last year that I want to continue a little bit closer and see if I can tick some of them off. And I'm not gonna finish that next year. That's impossible. And I don't want to set out doing that. I think what I want to do is to continue reading those 11 books and ticking them off so that my TBR is more current again. You know, I like to have a turnover of reading all the books I buy in a year, at least by the next year, and not 2 or 3 years of a book in my TBR. I'd rather not have that. So if I can get there next year, I'm happy. Another thing I experienced with this goal of reading my own books is that I know I have been excited about the books at one point, and I still am sort of, but not in a pressing matter. But it also had me not buying as many books. I did buy a few books, but I tried to reduce that a lot because I wanted to read the books I already owned. And that had me on a basically year-long book buying ban for all the great books everybody was talking about. So I kind of got left feeling out of the community and what everybody's reading right now because I didn't really feel like jumping into all of these books. So I'm not sure I like that part. The extensive, I can't be reading whatever I want, which I basically do, but I prioritize the things that I wanted to read in the past instead of the present, if that makes any sense. So not really sure how that will work out in 2019. I'm not going to set myself restricted goals again because, as we already discussed in the past, those don't really work well for me. So I'm going for my annual read of 70 books again, and hopefully those 11 will be on there. Now, talking about work and life goals and the whole situation, I didn't set out making many goals last year because I basically put off everything until I found a job. That was the thing. I started the year thinking like I can't make goals until I know how my work life is situated. And then it took me 6 months to find a job, which basically left me hanging around in the middle a little bit. I didn't do a lot of things that I could have done where I'm now, you wasted time. You could have sat down and did this or that, or taken more time for that. But I was constantly thinking about, I need to find a job, I don't have a job, I need to find a job. So I wasn't really rested and I didn't want to invest time to do something that might distract me from getting a job, which was stupid. So that was a waste of 6 months. Then I started the job, and in the beginning, you remember I got a part-time job and worked the mini job at the gym. But then I quit the gym, and at the same time, a new opening at the department I was already working at came by, so I took a full-time job again. I was reluctant to do that, but I needed the money and it was a good opening and it was a good chance. The contract is also for 3 years and it is full-time. It's right next door. I have 2 minutes to work. It's admin stuff, it's working with people. It's got a lot of the things that I wanted to have. It's a little bit less flexible than I was used to working in the past when I was teaching or working at the cinema, but it is still more flexible than in a lot of companies. So I've been doing that since August now, and in the beginning it was a lot of adjustment. And it's very hard to find an overview for all of the things that are there because the person who left very fast. So there was not much time for training, not much overlap. I had 2 weeks to figure out everything, and yeah, the passing on and change wasn't done properly or in the best way. It took me a while to figure out what I actually have to do, and in October, you all remember, I was going crazy because I didn't do something I was supposed to do in September, so I had a lot of stress and deadlines in October I hadn't known about. So October was horrible and I really didn't enjoy it, and I was struggling thinking, is it the full-time, is it the job, have I made a mistake? So November has been going a lot better again and gave me a little bit pause to rethink the whole situation. And I think where I'm at now is that I don't mind the job. It's not that I like it overly. It's not a job that you actually go and think, oh, I'm excited to go to work. I don't know. It's not that kind of job. Maybe for someone else, I don't know. But what I noticed is that it ticks off a lot of the things that I wanted in a job. It's close by, it's admin, it's working with people, it's some form of flexibility, so not strictly 9 to 5, but I do have office hours and I need to be there by 10. Overall, I find my job is lacking purpose for me, and I'm struggling with that a little bit, but I think I have come to terms with that that's just not what I'm going to get right now. Because the job is well paid, it really relieves the money stress I was experiencing when I was unemployed and the worries I had there. It is for 3 years, so I'm not stressed to find a new job next year. So I can concentrate on adjusting more to the things that I'm doing, trying to make the flexibility that I have work more for me so that I can get the things that I want from life out of this job. And I will see how the non-purpose, non-meaningful situation with the job will go. I mentioned in the beginning that I didn't really make any life goals because I wanted to wait until I have a job. And since I started working full-time again, I didn't really have a life again. So for 2019, I haven't really decided on life goals if I want to make some or not, but I definitely want to see that I can get a better balance between the work hours, the private things, and what I want. But I don't really know what I want right now because a lot of things have changed in this year and the last year, and I am not quite sure what effect that has for my future. So I'm not really eager to make long-term goals, but maybe go for quarterly goals. So basically, looking back at 2018, it's been full of changes and readjustments for me, especially readjusting what I think, what I want, and goals and perspectives and priorities. I'm not done yet. That's still in the process. I'm still looking at where I want to go and how I feel about where I am right now. I feel that 2018 was very exhausting. I am very tired most of the time. I don't like being this tired. I am very annoyed with the low energy level I have, but I can't seem to be able to change it. Everything I try doesn't work out on the long term. Maybe it works for 2 or 3 days or a week or 2, but at the end of that, I always fall back on being overly tired and exhausted. So not really sure how that is going on, or if that is something I just have to live with now. Who knows? Okay, that's been enough of me rambling on about 2018 goals and blah, blah, blah. Let's talk in comments. Tell me what you feel about 2018. Are you thinking about the recap for the year, where you are, where you've been, and what happened already, or are you pushing that off till the end of December? Let's talk 2018. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.